In the middle space of the dream domain, there were occasionally some terrifying dream domain creatures that even Luo Feng couldn't detect, and he was attacked by these dream domain creatures while searching for treasures, but with the strength of Luo Feng and his team, they were still able to cope with them together. In this team, Emperor Gui Su is extremely powerful, and the Wu Xian God King has many tricks. The two of them already have a strong teamwork. Now the addition of Luo Feng, who has many clones and is very good at entanglement. The team's ability to deal with risks has been greatly improved. Ha ha ha, with Brother Luo He here, it will be much safer for us to explore the dream domain. Emperor Gui Su smiled. The ultimate level creature just now was madly chasing the other members of the team, but in reality, those members, they were all changed by Brother Luo He. The Wu Xian God King laughed. The Yun Tian God King also felt much more relaxed. In the past, exploring the dream domain was thrilling and much more dangerous. Having a powerful companion in the team makes a huge difference. This is the only trick I have of splitting myself into two, Luo Feng said with a smile. They sat by a stream drinking and chatting, waiting for the results of Luo Feng's clone's exploration. Suddenly, Luo Feng and the others were looking into the distance. In the distance, a team was flying at super high speed. There were 9 figures in the team, and the leader was a figure wearing a robe. The figure had 3 faces, one from the front, one from the left, and one from the right. Each of the 3 faces was observing the surroundings. Wanjin Tower. Emperor Gui Su, Wu Xian God King, and Yun Tian God King were all startled and no longer smiled. Luo Feng also saw the robed figures in the team. Is that the owner of Wanjin Tower? Luo Feng had never dealt with the owner of Wanjin Tower, so he had no fear of him at all, but he also collected detailed information about the owner of Wanfa Tower. The founders behind the Two Worlds Palace, Wanjin Tower, and Time Space Boat, these 3 foreign forces, have different methods. The Lord of the Two Worlds Palace is domineering and the most powerful, and the Two Worlds Palace has the greatest influence. The old demon of time and space on the space-time boat is extremely low-key, does things to the ends of the earth, and is vicious and cruel. Even the 2 ancient kingdoms are most wary of this old demon of time and space. The owner of Wanjin Tower is rumored to have mastered 10,000 laws. Even if his moves are restricted to the Chaos Realm limit, he has countless secrets that can change the team under his command and become the most difficult opponent. In the Treasure Land, the most difficult team to deal with head-on is the team led by the owner of Wanjin Tower. Emperor Gui Su felt a little pressured and said in a voice transmission, "Let's leave this dream space quickly. Stay away from them." Yes, let's go quickly. The farther away from them, the better. The Wu Xian God King was also a little uneasy. Luo Feng sighed secretly. The owner of Wanjin Tower. The power of his moves has been suppressed, but just by leading a team, he can still make the Emperor Gui Su and the Wu Xian God King, who are at the peak of the 2nd-level God King, feel wary and even afraid. If the real body could descend, how terrifying would the owner of Wanjin Tower be? These 3 foreigners dared to act so unscrupulously. No wonder there is a legend on the Origin continent that the true identities of these 3 foreigners are no less than the ancestors of the 2 kingdoms. The owner of Wanjin Tower led the team and saw Luo Feng and the other 3 from afar. It's the team from the Samsara building, and compared to the past, there is one more member with black scales and golden horns. The 3 faces of the owner of Wanjin Tower were all examining the team from the Samsara building. In an instant, a large amount of information is observed, studied, and recorded from many levels. I have locked onto them. If they continue to stay in this dream space, we can find an opportunity to deal with them. The owner of Wanjin Tower gave the order through voice transmission. Yes, owner. Of the 8 members behind him, 6 were at the 2nd-level God King, and 2 were at the invincible 1st-level God King. They were a team selected by the owner of Wanjin. According to the secret method passed down by the owner of Wanfa Tower, if the 8 members of the team work together, the overall strength can be transformed qualitatively. The members of Wanjin Tower all admire this owner. Because the owner often guides them in their practice, he can be regarded as a half-master. The team from the Samsara building in the distance left quickly, and in just a moment, they were out of this dream space. They're gone, leaving this dream domain space. The owner of Wanjin Tower shook his head, too cautious. The entire dream domain has a massive amount of space. Each space exists independently. When the Samsara building leaves this space, it will be difficult for the owner of the Wanjin Tower to continue to lock them. They are afraid of the owner. Master, there is no need to worry about the Samsara building. There were those in the 2nd-level God King who directly addressed him as Master. The owner of Wanjin Tower had indeed accepted 15 personal disciples from among the internal members. In terms of teaching ability, he was even better than the ancestors of the two kingdoms, as well as the foreign races behind the Two Worlds Palace and the Time-Space Boat. The Wanjin Tower is extremely united internally, which is also largely due to the fact that the owner of the Wanjin Tower is willing to teach its internal members. Luo Feng and his team quickly left the dream space. Every time I meet the owner of Wanjin Tower, I feel uneasy. Wu Exine God King couldn't help but say, I feel like no matter what tricks I have no secrets in front of him. His own strength is obviously suppressed by the supreme rules, but he can make his team exert super strength. Emperor Guisu shook his head. I have died at the hands of the Wanjin Tower team 3 times. Died so many times? Luo Feng was surprised. Emperor Guisu nodded. The team of Wanjin Tower coordinated perfectly. When we fought, it seemed that they had calculated all our countermeasures. No matter how we resisted or struggled, we could not escape. Every time I have to use the boundary-breaking escape technique to escape, but when I use the boundary-breaking escape technique, I cannot take any living creature with me. The Wu Exine God King also shook his head. Wu Exine's method of breaking through boundaries can allow him to appear anywhere on the origin continent in an instant, and even leave the origin world. Theoretically, it is possible to go to another origin world. Emperor Guisu said. I can't go. Wu Exine God King shook his head. I need clear coordinates to have hope of reaching another origin world. Outside the cage world, even I will get lost. So the most I can do is rush out for a walk and then return to the source world. Amazing! Luo Feng exclaimed. Brother Wu Exine, you can actually fly outside the cage world. When it comes to escape techniques, Wu Exine is indeed among the best in the origin continent. Emperor Guisu laughed. How does it feel to fly outside the caged world? Luo Feng was curious. It's dangerous. Wu Exine God King said. Outside the cage world, there is an endless chaotic origin space, which contains endless chaotic origin power. Once eroded by the chaotic origin power, the lives of us in the cage will soon be eroded into nothingness and die completely. After all, we are still lives in a cage. Those true chaotic origin life forms can live comfortably in the chaotic origin space, said the Wu Exine God King. Luo Feng understood. The Yuntian God King often joins the team and is very familiar with the methods of Guisu and Wu Exine. Emperor Guisu said, we have already encountered the Two Worlds Palace team and then the Wanjin Tower team. We have also explored 5 dream space this time, and we can leave now. Don't be greedy. The Wu Exine God King also nodded. The more dream domain spaces one explored, one might fall on one's face one day. I agree. Luo Feng nodded. He already had many clones in various dream spaces, so they could take root here. Let's go quickly. I'm a little scared when I see the owner of Wanjin Tower. Yuntian God King also said. Let's go. Just like when they came, with the help of the Wu Exine God King's hidden sky escape technique, he led the entire team back quietly, and once again carefully passed through the entrance area of the dream domain blocked by the 2 ancient kingdoms, and then successfully returned to the normal world of the origin continent. In the blink of an eye, the entire team crossed the long distance from the entrance of the dream domain and arrived at Hango Mountain. Inside Hango Mountain, the other 3, Luo Feng, finally relaxed completely. Haha, this exploration of the dream domain went very smoothly. Although we suffered from the attacks of the Two Worlds Palace and encountered some powerful dream domain creatures, with Brother Luo He here, it was much easier than before. Emperor Guisu said with a smile. Let's divide the treasure now, said the Wu Exine God King. Luo Feng and Yuntian God King's eyes lit up. Everyone knows that the treasures we took from the dream domain this time are worth a total of about 280 million merits. Wu Exine God King said. Sister Yuntian will get 28 million merits. The other 3 of us will each get 84 million merits. Luo Feng was also somewhat excited after hearing this. A treasure worth more than 80 million merits? For example, the 2 ancient kingdoms allow guest official to exchange for a place in the treasure land infinite space, which is only 50 million merits. This amount of income is probably something that an ordinary first-level God King can't earn in his lifetime. The level of Tian Kuan Kingdom Lord and his people, when they venture into the treasure land, their gains are generally much less than those of Emperor Guisu and Wu Exine God King. However, Luo Feng's gains are equal to those of Emperor Guisu and his people. Apparently, hundreds of clones were simultaneously restraining the entire Dream Domain creatures colony, shocking Guisu, Wu Exine, and the others, who concluded that Luo Feng's contribution was no less than theirs. Okay, all have been distributed. The Wu Xian God King simply distributed the treasures to his 3 companions. Luo Feng also received a space bag containing many rare treasures, all of which were bred in the special environment of the Dream Domain and were extremely precious. However, since Luo Feng did not practice the chaotic origin bloodline, most of them were useless to him. Brother Luo He, do you know the detailed information about the treasures in the Dream Domain? Asked the Wu Xian God King. Only if you know their detailed value can you make better use of them and sell them to other God Kings. I know. Luo Feng nodded. His master Emperor Chu had given it to him long ago. By the way, who among you has the 5-colored treasure medicine? The 5-colored treasure medicine is said to be made from the heart of a world beast that surpasses the God King level. Only the 2 ancient kingdoms had it for sale. Taking it can make oneself and the great Tao of Destruction Origin fit perfectly, as if one was the favorite of the great Tao of Destruction Origin. With this treasure medicine, one can cultivate the Destruction Origin more smoothly. The higher one's achievement in this aspect, the better the effect of the Great Destruction Heart Refining Method will be. But a piece of treasure medicine is worth 10 million merits. The price is extremely high. Over the long years, many of these 5-color treasure medicines have been passed on to many guest official God King. No. Gui Su, Wu Xian, and Yun Tian God King all shook their heads. The 5-color treasure medicine is very rare. Although some guest official God King have exchanged for it, most of them have been used up long ago. Wu Xian God King said, "You can go find your master." Your master is the emperor. Luo Feng nodded. Now that this operation is over, let's go our separate ways. Emperor Gui Su said with a smile, "We'll meet again for the next operation." Okay, see you again next time. Luo Feng and the others responded with a smile, and everyone was very satisfied with the harvest. For Luo Feng, getting a treasure worth tens of millions of merits just by going out for a fight would be a great help to his own cultivation path. Naturally, he was willing to participate in some of the next actions. Soon after, Luo Feng and the 4 of them all quietly dispersed and left Hango Mountain, each going back to their own places.